Good day, everyone. Welcome to Singapore. The history of Singapore and the records of how Singapore was formed are shrouded in time. But a 3rd century Chinese record refers to it as the island at the end of a peninsula in the Malay language. Later, the city was referred to as Temasek or Sea Town, and during the 14th century, it earned the name of Singapore, and there is an ancient legend behind it. It is believed that Singapore was founded by a prince from Sumatra when he landed on the island and saw an auspicious lion. Assuming it to be a good omen, he founded a city there and named it Singapura, which translates to the Lion City. There is no record proof this legend, but it has been told for centuries. However, Singapore then was a small trading port with a small population until the European settlement. It was a small Malay fishing village whose major inhabitants were only a several hundred indigenous Orang Laut people. The history of Singapore is not particularly well documented. However, the island appears to have formed a not too important outpost fluttering between the control of wild original empires. Modern Singapore was founded in 1819 by Sir Stamford Raffles as a trading post of the British Empire. In 1867, the colonies in Southeast Asia were reorganized and Singapore came under the direct control of Britain as part of the Straits Settlement. Separation agreement was signed in August 1965. In 1967, Singapore introduced national service, a period of compulsory military service for all male citizens. The last British military force in Singapore left in 1971. Under Lee Kuan Yew, modern Singapore emerged as a financial superpower. His culture is underpinned by structural diversity and his high standards of living. Singaporeans today are owners of the world's most powerful pascals. The country is also a major diplomatic power and is a member of the UN, the Commonwealth of Nations, and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Important person in Singapore. Lee oversaw Singapore's transformation into a developed country with a high-income economy within a single generation. In 1990, Lee stepped down as Prime Minister but remained in the cabinet under his successors, holding the appointments of Senior Minister until 2004, then Minister Mentor until 2011. Goh Chok Tong, SPMG, is a retired Singaporean politician who served as the Prime Minister of Singapore between 1990 and 2004, and Secretary General of the People's Action Party between 1992 and 2004. He continues to serve as a Member of Parliament representing the Marine Parade Group representation constituents and hold the honorary title of Emeritus Senior Minister. Lee Hsien Loong is a Singaporean politician and former Brigadier General who has served as Prime Minister of Singapore and Secretary General of the People's Action Party since 2004. Vanessa Mae, also called Vanessa Mae Vanakorn Nicholson, is a Singaporean-born British violinist with album sales reaching several million, having made her the wealthiest entertainer under 30 in the United Kingdom in 2006. Koh became a self-made millionaire at the age 26. In 2018, he was ranked among the top 25 richest Singaporeans under age 40 by the Executive magazine. In 2019, his company was ranked top 29 at the Enterprise 50 Awards organized by the Business Times and KPMG. Ray Jackson Rathbone is an American actor, singer, and musician, best known for his role as Jasper Hale in the Twilight Saga film series. From 2008 to 2012, he was the vocalist and occasional guitarist, bassist, drummer, and keyboardist of the funk rock band 100 Monkeys. Joseph Prince is the evangelist and senior pastor of New Creation Church based in Singapore. He is one of the church founders in 1983. He was awarded the Friends of Zion International Relations Award for his assistance towards the Israel people by Peres Center for Peace in Jaffa. His book has been a worldwide success, such as The Power of Right Believing and Destined to Reign. Stephanie Sun is a Singaporean singer-songwriter. In 2000, she released her debut album, Yansi, which won her a Golden Melody Award for Best New Artist. In 2004, she released her 8th studio album, Stephanie, which won her another Golden Melody Award for Best Mandarin Female Singer. Zoe Tay is a Singaporean actress and former model. She has been referred to as the Queen of Caldecott Hill and Asia by the local media since the rise of her popularity in 1990s. Joseph Isaac Schooling, PJJ, is a Singaporean competitive swimmer. He was the gold medalist in the 100m butterfly at the 2016 Olympics. Achieving Singapore's first ever Olympic gold medal, his winning time of 50.39 seconds broke multiple records at national, Southeast Asian, and Olympic level. Singapore flag. The meaning of the Singapore flag is the red color symbolizes universal brotherhood and equality of man. The white color signifies pervading and everlasting purity and virtue. The crescent moon represents a young nation on the ascendant, and the 5 stars stand for the nation ideals of democracy, peace, progress, justice, and equality. The flag of Singapore was adopted in 1959, the year Singapore became self-governing within the British Empire. It remained the national flag upon the country's independence from Malaysia on August 9, 1965. The design is a horizontal bicolor of red above white, overlaid in the canton by a white crescent moon facing a pentagon of 5 small pointed stars. The elements of the flag denote a young nation on the ascendant, universal brotherhood and equality, and national ideals. Holidays and Festival. Singapore is a melting pot of cultures with Chinese, Malay, and Indian ethnic groups. Comprising its socio-cultural fabric, the influx of foreigners in recent times has lent a cosmopolitan image, and Singapore's lifestyle is multicultural. Each of the ethnic communities maintain their unique way of life and at the same time live harmoniously. Given this unique blend of cultures and people, Singapore's event calendar is marked with holidays and celebration all year round. Festivals range from religious celebrations, socio-cultural, festivities, and sports events. Outlying below is a glimpse of the popular holidays and festivals celebrated in Singapore. Singapore celebrates festivals that are specific to each of its ethnic groups and their respective religions. Additionally, certain important anniversaries are celebrated island-wide by the entire nation. These significant religious festivals and important dates are declared as public holidays in Singapore. New Year's Day. The year begins with festivities and every New Year heralds celebrations in Singapore. There are several venues that hold New Year's Eve countdown parties for the public. The most popular waterfront events are the Marina Bay Singapore Countdown and Siloso Beach Party at Sentosa. Most of the Singaporeans frequent either of these locations to enjoy the public performances and witness the impressive fireworks display. Other popular party spots can be found along Orchard Road, Boat Quay, and Clark Quay. Chinese New Year is one of the most anticipated celebrations in Singapore. The festival begins on the first day of the first lunar month in the Chinese calendar, which usually falls between the last week of January and early February. Preparation begins weeks ahead of the Chinese New Year, and the city wears a festive spirit during this period. Families celebrate by partaking in reunion fests, making New Year visit to the homes of family and friends, exchanging hongbao, red envelopes with monetary gifts, gifting tiny mandarin trees symbolizes prosperity, and visiting the temple. Good Friday, the Friday before Easter Sunday, is a Christian holiday called Good Friday. Good Friday is celebrated to commemorate the death and crucifixion of Jesus Christ. In Singapore, this day is designated as a public holiday. Most businesses are closed, and the same goes for all public institutions, schools, and universities. It is a day off for the general populations. Good Friday commemorates Jesus' death on the cross. Throughout the celebration of Good Friday in Singapore, Christianity will gather with their friends and family members for a meal. According to Christianity, Jesus is the Lamb of God who gave his life for their sins. As such, lamb is always the main dish during these meals. Good Friday is celebrated mostly by those who adhere to Christianity. The following shows how Christians in Singapore celebrated one of the most important holidays of the Christian religion. Good Friday is a holiday to honor the final hours of Jesus Christ's life. Labor Day. In Singapore, May Day or Labor Day is celebrated on May 1 each year as a mark of solidarity among workers. The celebration of May Day as a public holiday began only in 1960 after the People's Action Party came into power. Before then, only workers defined as such under the Labor Ordinance 1955 and those defined as industrial clerks under the Clerks Employment Ordinance 1957 were given paid holidays. May Day is a day of special significance for organized workers as it served to remind others what their collective strength has achieved for workers. By making it a public holiday, the government of Singapore has indeed it to be a day set aside in honor of workers and their contribution to the country. It also makes it easier for workers to come together for celebrations. Vesak Day, the full moon day of the fourth lunar month, is the most important annual event for the Buddhist community in Singapore. Vesak Day usually falls in the month of May and commemorates the birth, enlightenment, and final nirvana of the Buddha. Buddhist temples are colorfully decorated with Buddhist flag and lights, and shrines are adorned with flowers, fruits, and other offerings. Vesak Day celebrations are closed-hall events open to members of the public. Some of the highlights include vegetarian food fair, public talks, and hymn singing. Acts of generosity known as dana are observed by Buddhist organizations and temples. Vesak Day entails a quieter celebration than most other festivals in Singapore. Deepavali, or the Festival of Lights, is the most important festival in the Hindu calendar and the most significant festival for the Indian community in Singapore. Deepavali usually falls in the month of October or November, and celebration begin weeks ahead in the Indian ethnic quarter of Little India, signifying the triumph of good over evil or light over darkness. The street of Little India sports colorful lights and traditional overreaching decorations. roadside stalls sell terracotta lamps, flowers, and other traditional decorative items. Sweetmeat shops offer a wide array of mouth-watering traditional Indian sweets and savories. Families celebrate by partaking in reunion fests, visiting the homes of family and friends, exchanging sweets, lights oil lamps at home, and visiting the temple. There are a number of cultural celebrations that takes place during this period. Since there is a ban on bursting firecrackers in Singapore, most families get together and light sparklers in the late evening. Hari Raya Puasa is a major festival for the Malay community in Singapore and usually falls in the month of September or October. Hari Raya Puasa marks the end of Ramadan, the Islamic holy month of fasting. Geylang Serai, the cultural heart of the Malay Muslim community, is well lit and decorated, and a festive mood prevails. There are colorful festive bazaar and numerous food stalls offering traditional Malay fare. Cultural performances like traditional Malay song and dance also form part of the celebrations. Families celebrate by wearing their finest clothes, attending early morning prayer, meetings, and local mosque, visiting family and friends, and partaking in the Thanksgiving fest. Hari Raya Haji, also known as the Fest of Sacrifice or Eid al-Adha. Hari Raya Haji marks the end of the Hajj pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca. Hari Raya Haji usually falls in the month of November or December, and festivities are similar to those of Hari Raya Puasa. Christmas is considered the most enchanting time of the year, and the holiday spirit set in the weeks ahead of Christmas Day. Titled Christmas in the Tropics, a 7-week extravaganza that celebrates the spirit of Christmas unfolds every year from the end of November and continues until the ringing in of the New Year. Famed for its Christmas light upon Orchard Road and Marina Bay are transformed during this period by festive street lighting, glorious celebratory arches, brilliant water features, and picture-perfect theme set. Nighttime entertainment along Orchard Road during the festive season includes Christmas-themed activities by choral groups, musicians, dancers, parade of flutes, the popular Juke Out, outdoor dance festival on Sentosa, and many other events. Adding to the joyous festivities are the special decorated shop window and stunning Christmas decorations in the malls. Many malls and retailers offer special shopping deals, late-night shopping as well as post-Christmas sales. Family attend midnight mass, visiting relatives and family, and enjoy a traditional Christmas dinner. Singapore's National Day falls on August 9, and the National Day Parade is a commemoration of Singapore's independence. One of Singapore's much anticipated annual events, the NDP witnesses close to 25,000 spectators every year. Held at the Marina Bay, the celebration includes pre-parade light heart-filler events, followed by the actual parade and ceremonies including the popular presidential gun salute, and culminates into a grand finale which is a 45-minute show segment. Followed by an impressive fireworks display, the atmosphere is changed and most spectators sport the national flag's colors of red and white. You will also find the national flag display on the facade of most housing estates across the island. Socio-cultural and sport festivals. Singapore Heritage Feast. This festival is an initiative to get to know more about the various cultures in Singapore and their traditions, food, costumes, music, and art. Through a series of exhibitions, heritage tours, culinary events, and cultural performances, this is an annual event held in the month of July. Singapore Food Festival, held annually in July. The Singapore Food Festival is a celebration of local food. Festival highlights include food carnivals, trails, workshops, as well as joint food-oriented promotions. The Great Singapore Sale, one of the most popular and most awaited annual events held every June-July. The Great Singapore Sale is an absolute shopping extravaganza with retailers providing discounts of up to 70% of the usual price island-wide. Singapore International Film Festival, the largest film event in Singapore and one of Asia's primary film festivals. The SIFF is held in April every year. The festival screens over 200 international films of all genres with a focus on groundbreaking Asian cinema. Apart from film screenings, the festival also features workshops, seminars, and exhibitions on filmmaking. Singapore International Arts Festival, an island-wide national celebration of the arts. The festival offers high-quality, free and ticketed outdoor performances in theater arts, dance, music, and visual art. Besides local participants, approximately 70% of the events are put up by international artists. It is usually held in the months of May and June. Singapore Fashion Festival, the annual 2-week-long festival held between March and April, aims to make Singapore the fashion capital of the Southeast Asian region. The festival highlights include showcasing international and local designers, collections, fashion show, exhibition, and related fashion fringe events. M1 Singapore Fringe Festival. This is the 12-day annual festival of theater, performing arts, film, dance, visual art, mixed media, music, and forum, created and presented by both Singaporean and international artists. Held around the end of January, the festival centers around a different theme each year, and it aims to bring the best of contemporary, cutting-edge, and social engaged work to the Singapore audience. Dragon Boat Festival. The highlights of this festival are the Dragon Boat Race, which take place annually every June and feature both local and international rowers. This is also a great time to enjoy traditional rice dumplings, and the festival is also known as the Dumpling Festival. Other religious festivals in Singapore. Hungry Ghost Festival. The island follows a tradition where spirits are appeased with offerings during the rituals. The ritualistic offerings are more under control in keeping with Singapore's status as one of the tidiest global cities. The Hungry Ghost Festival, a month-long Asian tradition that pays respect to the spirit of dead, is celebrated across many parts of Chinese Asia on the 7th month of the lunar calendar and lasts for 14 days. Mid-Autumn Festival, one of the loveliest Chinese festivals. The Mid-Autumn Festivals, also known as Lantern Festival or Mooncake Festival. The Singapore Mid-Autumn Festival is one of the most popular events celebrated by the Singaporean Chinese community. It celebrates the end of the autumn harvest with a family gatherings, lanterns, and mooncakes. A colorful dragon design lantern, moon viewing parties, and lantern walking are popular ways to enjoy the Mid-Autumn Festival. The Mid-Autumn Festival is a popular observance in Singapore among those of ethnic Chinese. Heritage. It is not a public holiday, but malls nevertheless decorated and sell special food items at this time of year. The Mid-Autumn Festival takes place annually on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month. The event will see lanterns lit daily from 6 to 10 p.m. The festival is a time for families to band together while consuming mooncakes, pomelos, and tea. While children often play with lanterns, the Mid-Autumn Festival is likely to have origins in the ancient worship practices of the moon and serve as a harvest festival to express gratitude to the gods. Thaipusam, anchored by a large, colorful annual procession. Thaipusam sent Hindu devotees in Singapore seeking blessings, fulfilling vows, and offering thanks. The festival is celebrated in honor of the Lord Subramaniam, also known as Lord Murugan. the destroyer of evil who represent virtue, youth, and power. Thaipusam is one of the most important religion festivals of the year. The word Thaipusam is the combination of the word Thai, which refers to the month of the Tamil calendar in which the religious festival is held, and Pusam, which refers to a constellation of 3 stars. The festival generally lasts for 2 days. Easter. When Easter Sunday arrives, Singaporean churches often take the occasion to baptize converts. Since rising up out of the water symbolizes entering a new life with Christ, it is connected with the resurrection of Jesus from the tomb, which Easter commemorates. Some churches will also have sunrise services on Easter. Easter also celebrates the defeat of the death and the hope of salvation. Christian tradition holds the sin of humanity were paid for by the death of Jesus, and that his resurrection represents the anticipation believers can have in their own resurrections. Some popular Singaporean customs and traditions. While meeting a Singaporean formally or informally, make sure to shake hands firmly with all even when departing. A slight bow while shaking hands is considered respectful. Take off the shoes before entering anyone's house. Also remember to take them off before visiting any temple or mosque. Make sure never to pinpoint someone or something with a finger. Just raise your hand for indication. Gender discrimination is legal offense in Singapore, thus take care not to disrespect anyone. Taping is not customary in Singapore. Most of the restaurants add a 10% service charge in the bill, in which case tipping is generally discouraged. Avoid tipping at hawker center and food courts. Tipping is also completely prohibited at Changi Airport. Refer to the middle-aged and elder people as uncle and auntie, as it is seen as a sign of respect in Singapore. While eating with chopsticks, do not stick them upright in the bowl. It is reminiscent of funeral rites and considered bad luck. Do not touch anyone's head, as it is considered scared by many. On the contrary, the feet are regarded as dirty, so do not point them direct at someone. Casual clothes, short, t-shirt, flip-flops are acceptable in most places in Singapore. Pack formal outfit and dress shoes of the high-end restaurants. The culture of Singapore. The culture of Singapore is a melange of Malay, South Asian, Southeast Asian, and Eurasian culture and influences. The quintessential cosmopolitan Singaporean culture has transformed generally over the years. The indigenous culture of Singapore was originally influenced by Austronesian people who arrived here from Taiwan. During the course of many years, Singapore's culture was further influenced and inspired by multiple Chinese dynasties and other Asian countries, which have eventually given shape to the eccentric and striking Singaporean culture that we see today. Singapore is by far one of the cleanest countries, not only in Asia but the rest of the world. Starting right from the spick and span Changi Airport, right up to the spotless streets and by lanes, there is absolutely no littering anywhere. To maintain the cleanliness, chewing gum is banned in the Singapore. Since an open trade agreement with the USA in 2004, only a limited amount of medical chewing gums are allowed, but that too has to be prescribed by a dentist. The country gives away Clean and Green Singapore awards every year to the districts which achieve the most in terms of public hygiene and environmental cleanliness. Singapore has its own set of rules and regulations, which heavily criminalizes many actions which are considered petty crimes or no-offense acts in most other countries. The general offense of Singapore are possession of chewing gum or trying to bring them into the country without a doctor's prescription. Jaywalking, walking or crossing the street unlawfully, that is not using the zebra crossing or not following the traffic lights while crossing or not using the pedestrian sidewalk. Smoking in public places and areas, where no smoking signs are put up for restriction. Urinating or spitting in public, littering on the roads instead of using the dustbin, committing a furry or fight between two or more people in the public place such as bar, bros, or street commotions. Chinese Buddhism happens to be the major religion in Singapore, owing to the large population of southern Chinese immigrants and their descendants. Hinduism is also prevalent, being the faith of those with South Indian heritage. Christianity is growing quite exponentially as a belief system, and many young Singaporeans are leaning towards it. Language of Singapore. Singapore has 4 official languages: English, Malay, Tamil, and Mandarin Chinese. Being a former colonial country, English is the most commonly spoken and written language. It is the lingua franca in Singapore and therefore the de facto language used in public service and administration, trade, and commerce. And in the judicial system, in writing, Singapore follows British English. However, the spoken colloquial version of Singaporean English is locally called Singlish. Although Malay is the national language of the country, only 15-17% of Singaporeans speak the language. It is officially present in the Singaporean national anthem, in military commands, and in order and citation only. Most people in the country are bilingual. They can speak reasonably good English and one of the 3 other languages as their mother tongue. Top 10 tourist destinations. Singapore has been described as a playground for the rich, and it is true that the small city-state does have a certain sense of wealth, but Singapore offers more than just high-end shopping malls, luxury hotels, and fine dining. There is also a vibrant history and diverse ethnic quarters to discover, along with many family-friendly attractions and lovely public spaces that makes visiting this slightly futuristic city worthwhile. Singapore has an excellent public transportation system that makes getting around convenient and easy. Once you got in a sense of a metro map, you'll have no problem zipping from one part of the town to the English is spoken everywhere, and signs are in English as well. In fact, Singapore is one of the easiest and most comfortable countries to navigate in Southeast Asia for ideals on things to see and to do. These are the top attractions to visit in Singapore. Singapore Botanic Garden, a testament to Singapore's reputation as a city in the garden. The Botanic Gardens in the country's first UNESCO heritage site, joining the ranks of iconic landmarks such as Cambodia Angkor Wat and the Great Wall of China. Established in 1859 by the Agricultural Society, 60 acres of land were transformed from a disused plantation into the popular recreational garden you see today, as well as being a favorite recreational venue for jogging, dining, or just lazing about. The sprawling grounds are also a leading center for botanic and horticultural research. Highlights including the National Orchid Garden, which boasts the world's largest orchid display with over 60,000 plants and orchid plants. Meanwhile, the Singapore Botanic Garden Heritage Museum features interactive and multimedia exhibit and panels that details the garden rich heritage. Kids have a blast at the Jacob Wallace Children's Garden, where they can play and learn about plant life. A host of restaurants and cafes are also available to satisfy thirsty and hungry visitors after a day out of the sun. Universal Studios Singapore, Southeast Asian first Hollywood movie theme park. Universal Studios Singapore feature an interesting selection of attraction, rides, and entertainment for families and thrill seekers. Indeed, 18 out of 24 movie-themed rides were designed just for the Singapore park. There are 7 unique design zones, each themed after icons of the movie world. You will find the renewed Hollywood Walk of Fame of the Hollywood zone. As you venture into New York, the landscape evolves into impressive city skylines. Here you can step into a movie set and experience the destructive force of a hurricane with special effects produced by Steven Spielberg performances. At Universal Studios, Singapore are equally spectacular, a cinematic experience that allows visitors to physically feel the action of the movie located in the Lost World Zone. The Waterworld performance based on the blockbuster film featured death-defying stunt and jaw-dropping explosion after an exhilarating day out. Replenish your energy between the attraction and step into many themed restaurants across the parks. Chinatown. No trip to Singapore is completely without a visit to Chinatown. In the Outroom district, anticipated flavor, some cuisines, and cheap prices from Chinatown street markets and Tello. A year street must see cultural landmarks like Singapore's oldest Chinese temple and An Ho King Temple, and great shopping destinations like Pagoda Street, once an enclave for Singapore's Chinese immigrants population. The Chinatown of today is much beloved for its blend of old and new with historical temples and traditional medical halls. Sitting along bold new bars and 3D lifestyles shops, you'll be able to spend an entire day exploring this vibrant city, which encompasses the neighborhoods. Whether you're exploring century-old temples or making new friends or hip watering holes, there's always a new experience to be told in Chinatown. Gain insight into Singapore's rich multi-ethnic culture by visiting some of country's most fascinating places of worship located in the heart of Chinatown. This age-old present is home to Myra. Different cultures is the only Chinatown in the world to boast a Buddhist temple, a mosque, and a Hindu temple along a single street. This is an area that's proud of its heritage and has its very much on display. Sentosa. The best attraction in Sentosa all share one thing in common: fun and lots of it. This man-made island, accessible via small bridge from the main Singapore island, is jam-packed full of entertaining things to do, many of which are geared towards families with young kids. Sentosa is famous for the massive resorts world, which in itself contains many fun things to see and to do. Sentosa is also home to all of the best beaches in Singapore. All feature attractions are easy to get to over the course of its remarkable history. Sentosa has transformed into a beloved island resort best known for its tropical beaches, luxurious hotels, and thrilling attractions. Whether you're looking for an underline rush or a day of bold exploration, a world of adventure awaits you at Sentosa. Avid explorers looking to discover the island via charms and national landscape will be able to choose from a range of inspiring activities. Raffles Hotel Singapore. Raffles welcomes you as they write a new chapter after an extensive restoration, breathing new life into a storied hotel. The restoration was designed to ensure that they retain what is so special about Raffles: the ambience, the service, the charm, and the heritage of the hotel. Experience the legendary service as you enjoy newly opened bars, restaurants, and boutiques, whilst exploring graceful courtyards and relaxing and cozy social spaces with enhanced comfort and splendor for the discerning traveler. Immerse yourself with this striking architecture and graceful service for the unique feeling of being somewhere very special in the heart of the business and civil district, easily the most famous hotel in Singapore. No other establishment epitomizes the island colonial history better than Raffles Hotel Singapore. Today, the Raffles Hotel Singapore is a heritage icon and its stored elegance, compiling history and colorful guest list continues to draw travelers from around the world. Gardens by the Bay. No attraction in Singapore is as mesmerizing as Gardens by the Bay, located in Marina Bay. The park is one of Singapore's most recognizable landmarks since opening in 2012. It becomes one of the most coveted attractions in the world for travelers. Garden by the Bay is most famous for its dramatic super tree growth during the Groove Night live show, vibrant color dance in the evening sky to the sound of music. If you've seen photos of Singapore tourist attractions, you'll probably recognize the futuristic super tree that dot the small island cityscape, but these man-made tree structures are just one aspect of an ambitious, completely modern urban garden project. As you explore Gardens by the Bay at your leisure, be sure to keep an eye out for Floral Fantasy, the second of the garden's three indoor conservatories delves into realms of both history and fantasy. Clarke Quay. The best attraction in Clarke Quay offers visitors a great range of alternative things to see and do, which doesn't purely revolve around nightlife. Surely, Clarke Quay is famous for its stunning waterside restaurants and exciting collection of bars and clubs, but the area has so much more to offer. Most of the top-rated attractions around Clarke Quay are walking distance from MRT stations, and our carefully chosen selections includes a host of family. The Singapore River lies off the heart of Clarke Quay, providing the central artery for these areas. Thriving nightlife sense, however, the river offers visitors much more than just a picturesque spot to camp. For food and drink, boat tours are available that cruise up and down the entire length of the river, taking advantage of all interesting sights along the way. Orchard Road. The Orchard Road in Singapore is hands down the most delightful shopping avenue in the city-state. It is world-famous shopping destination that will satisfy every whim and fancy of the shopaholic in you. Just make sure you have enough time on hand to explore all places to visit in Orchard Road, since there is so much to see and do. In this expensive and attractive high street with a fine collection of cutting-edge shopping malls, plenty of restaurants, flagship designers, boutiques, and endless entertainment option, the Orchard Road is among the most intimate retail neighborhoods in Singapore. It is not just the most visited shopping destination here, but also the best one is providing leisure amenities and fine dining options. It is one of its kind adventure with over 5,000 establishments that offer the ultimate lifestyle experience to tourists as well as locals. The Singapore Flyer is a giant observation wheel at downtown core Singapore, which was officially opened on the 15th April 2008. With construction having taken about 2.5 years, it has 28 air-conditioned capsules, each able to accommodate 28 passengers and incorporate a 3-story terminal building. The Singapore Flyer was first conceived in the early 2000s. The project was formally announced and endorsed on 27 of June 2003 by the Singapore Tourism Board with a signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, formalizing the understanding between the developer and Tourism Board with regard to the land acquisition process, a giant observation wheel that stands amidst the skyscraper in the Singapore skyline. The Singapore Flyer is the go-to-go attraction. Marina Bay Sands is a destination for those who appreciate luxury and integrated resort novel. For transforming Singapore city skyline, it comprises 3 55-story towers of extravagant hotel rooms and luxury suites with personal vaulter services. Marina Bay has been the biggest winning in the fast-paced development of Singapore. The world of Marina Bay area has undergone a transformation of epic proportions and is now the de facto center of Singapore. For visitors, the 55 billion Marina Bay Sands complex is the focal point of the bay, and many of the great things to do and see in the area revolve around with epic building and resort. The variety of attraction at Marina Bay would not be complete without the famous Merlion Singapore symbol. And most sought after photo, aside from pretty things to see, the area is packed full of fun and fascinating things to do, as well, all of which are great for the whole spectrum of different visitors that flock with a stunning spot every year. Top 10 Foods. Food in Singapore has cultural influences from everywhere and have been assembled together to create something totally unique. You'll find Chinese, Indonesian, Southern Indian influences, and not surprisingly, a significant Malay influence. Hainanese adapted from the early Chinese immigrants from Hainan Island. The aromatic rice cooked in chicken stock, tender juicy white chicken, and the power chili sauce along with dark soy sauce. One of the favorite stalls to get Hainanese chicken rice is from Tian Tian at Maxwell. Anthony Bourdain loved it. Gordon Ramsay lost a competition to it. The Purvis Street is also full of Hainanese restaurants which serve it the old good way. Char Kway Teow is not exactly photogenic by looking black and oily. The dish is extremely delicious, fried in dark soy sauce, complemented by ingredients of egg, Chinese sausage, beans, sprout, and cockles. A test of a good plate, it has wok hei, an indescribable heat, which you would feel as you take your first bite. Many international celebrities love having bak kut teh for supper in Singapore. You can spot them when you notice someone in shades having supper with an entourage. The Hokkies have a stronger version with dark soy sauce added. The Cantonese with more medicinal herbs, whereas the Teochew like them pepperly. Best enjoy on a calling night with tender ribs dipped into dark soy sauce and crispy youtiao dunked in hot steam broth. Laksa is noodles or thick vermicelli cooked in rich and creamy spicy coconut milk gravy. The famous ones are found in Katong, where some shops do not serve them with chopsticks. You have to slurp the noodles of the soup. Singaporeans love roti prata both as a breakfast and supper dish. Involved from a pancakes recipe from Pakistan and India, the crispy fluffy flat bread is commonly served with curry, or some love them with a spoonful of sugar. Watching the cook make prata with flips and tosses in the air is always fun. The variety of pratas in Singapore also just get more and more exciting. From essential egg, onions, and cheese, we have seen fillings from fruits such as durian and banana, ice cream, to chocolate. Considered as one of the most popular Malay dish in Singapore, this cured meat comes with choices of chicken, mutton, beef. Some stalls offer more such as prawns and duck. Barbecue over charcoals. The outer glaze layer is slightly charred while the meat is sweetish and tasty. Most often ordered in 5 stick or 10 stick. The sticks come with rice dumpling called ketupat, onion, and cucumber. All can be dipped in spicy sweet peanut sauce. An occasional stall, usually the Chinese ones, may mix pineapple pulp within the sauce. While hawker centers and coffee shops in Singapore offer many types of noodles, the bak chor mee has somehow been considered most unique Singaporean. This is especially so for the meat pork, which can be considered the local version of fettuccine, affectionately known as BCM. This noodle dish is usually ordered dry, coming with pork slice, pork liver, minced meat, stewed sliced mushroom, fried saltfish, and an occasional fish ball. Some foreigners may find it weird that Singaporeans can have rice wrapped in banana leaf for breakfast. The nasi lemak, which is coconut rice, can be savored any time of the day. The Malay version can contain fried ikan bilis, nuts, fried fish, egg, cucumber, not forgetting a quintessential sambal chili sauce. The Chinese version sometimes include other ingredients such as chicken wings, pork chop, and ota-ota. Some version can get slightly dry and will taste great with a cool, refreshing can of Coke. The chili and black pepper crabs can be said to have originated from Singapore, created by different restaurants on East Coast during the 1950s. The chili crab distinct in the thickened sweet savory sauce, tasting somewhat like a cross of chili and tomato sauce. It's not too spicy. Scoop the sauce with the crab claw or deep fried mantou. Rujak is such a special food in Singapore. The usual type would include fried dough fritters, tteokbokki slice, pineapple, cucumber, radish, and bean sprout mixed in a dark, thick, sweet sauce with peanuts. Some varieties include fruits such as green apple and raw mangoes. The Indian rujak is variably different, containing foods such as potatoes and egg deep fried in butter. So many varieties, that's why it's so rojak, which briefly means mix. Restriction upon entering Singapore. Safe travel information from April 1, 2022. There will be specific entry requirements in place based on whether you are fully vaccinated or non-fully vaccinated. For fully vaccinated visitors, obtain proof of vaccination and upload vaccination certificate onto the vaccination check portal. Secure tickets for any flights to Singapore. Download the Trace Together app and register your profile 3 days before departure. Submit SG arrival card and e-health declaration via the official and free e-service on the Immigration and Checkpoints Authority website. For non-fully vaccinated visitors, obtain entry permission, submit an application here 2 days before departure. Take a COVID-19 polymerase chain reaction or professionally administered antigen rapid test. Upon arrival, undergo a 7-day stay-home notice at any pre-booked accommodation. After completion of SHN, undergo a PCR test. Mask wearing is now optional outdoors. When indoors, mask wearing is still mandatory, especially when eating or drinking. Dine-in is allowed for all fully vaccinated persons. This includes F&B establishments, hawker centers, and coffee shops. The Singapore Ministry of Health has issued a set of protocols that you should follow if you are feeling unwell, display COVID-19 symptoms, or test positive while visiting Singapore. Keep yourself updated. Travel restriction and self-distancing rules may change at short notice. For updates on Singapore's COVID-19 situation, refer to Ministry of Health.